got a strike to give, there's hope.
Brantley with a drive to deep right field. Mazara's out of room. It's out of here. We're tied at 6. As long as you've got one strike to give. Oh, that's got the joint jumping for sure. Despite the 9th inning heroics, in the 12th inning, Texas came back. A home run by Joey Gallo, one by Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and the Rangers escape with a series evening win over the Cleveland Indians. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning on another beautiful day here in downtown Cleveland. A little afternoon baseball as the Indians try to make it 2 out of 3 against Texas, and they've got their guy on the hill, Corey Kluber. Now, as a group, the starting pitchers are averaging just over 6 innings per start, but Kluber has pitched a full 7 innings every time out except once.
And it's that day again. It's Kluber Day, and you always look forward to that because when he toes the rubber, you expect to win if you're a Cleveland Indian. And he has done his share of work this year, throwing the fastballs, the changeups, the breaking balls. He's been very much unhittable a lot of the time. He's given up 11 runs this year. 8 have come off the home run ball. Other than that, he has been nasty. When you look at the numbers over the last 4 years and counting, 4th in wins, the ERA, he is 3rd. But look at the complete game. He's 1st. Shutouts, he's tied for 2nd. He gives you the innings, he's 3rd. I mean, he goes out there and he expects to finish what he starts.
Yeah, he came within 1 disputed strike of having a complete game his last time out. We'll be back with today's play-by-play coming up next. Alan Jensen have the showstopper, and we'll check in with Andre Knott straight ahead. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Who But WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians, and by your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. Made in Ohio, Ohio proud.
Afternoon, gorgeous day at Progressive Field, 81 degrees, sunshine, and a lot of wind blowing out to dead center field. Welcome back to center field, along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski. Let's take a look at our showstopper from last night and from the New York Yankees. That belongs to Gary Sanchez. What a series here between the Stros and Yankees, and this one in the 11th inning. See you later.
Now, this was after Justin Verlander punched out 14 New York Yankees. The Yankees themselves 9-1 in their last 10 games, only 2 games back now of first place Boston. They've hit 42 homers in 29 games. That's tops of the big leagues, tied with the Toronto Blue Jays. This has been the theme for them, and I think last year carrying into this year, 2 of the top teams on display in that series last night.
Today, the Indians 3 games in front of the Detroit Tigers in first place, trying to increase that lead with Kluber on the hill. Matt and Rick have the call on today's game. Hey, fellas, welcome in.
Yeah, Al, that's usually a good bet for the Indians. You've got Kluber on the hill. You're trying to close out a series, trying to win 2 out of 3. And as Rick has said, you don't worry about the 14 to 22 game win streak. Try to win series. You do that, you're going to put yourself in a really good position. For the Indians to do that, one of the guys they've got to contend with is Jurickson Profar. Not necessarily a household name outside of Rangers territory, but Andre Knott, when he plays the Indians, he looks like an old seasoned pro.
He absolutely does. Profar, for whatever reason, plays his best baseball against the Tribe. Now, for most organizations, he may be playing every day for his team, but because of the guys in front of him, he's had issues. But his first major league game against the Cleveland Indians. And what did he do? Big hits off of Zach McAllister. Throughout his career, he has found a way, as Frankie wants to take me, he's found a way to hit 340 with 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, and 7 doubles. So for Corey Kluber and the Indians, it will come down to shutting down Profar and keeping him out of big situations. If you see last night, most of the guys in the clubhouse thought that was the biggest at-bat of the night, that at-bat that he had late in the game against the bullpen.
Andre, great job concentrating. Fans at home didn't get to see it, but Frankie Lindor almost took him over the railing like a wrestler would throw somebody over the turnbuckle.
He came close, but I want everybody to see you guys dancing to Tom Jones. It's not unusual.
You got it.
7th inning stretch.
Yes.
We'll be here all night, all weekend. Tip your waiters. All right, so the Indians and the Rangers here this afternoon. They've got Corey Kluber on the hill. Hey, they pushed him, try to get him deep, try to get him a complete game his last time out. Does that have any impact, Arch, in this day and age on his start today?
Well, we're going to take a look at it, because when you think about it, now you would think no. I would think no right off the get-go, because it's Corey Kluber and he doesn't change. But we watched Clevenger after his complete game, you know, shutout in Baltimore. His last couple starts, he's had some hiccups. But with Corey Kluber, I'm going to say no, but we're going to find out today when he faces the Texas Rangers. I certainly hope not, because they need a long start from Kluber today. He knows it, Tito knows it, and I think that whole ball club does. So see if they can get him some runs early.
Well, it's another spectacular afternoon as this series wraps up. It's going to be 82 degrees at game time. Few clouds overhead, but lots of sunshine. Folks still filing in. I mean, what a night last night. Spectacular. Disappointing ending for the Tribe, but thrilling finish as they came from behind with the grand slam in the 9th inning, bottom of the 9th, down to their last strike. Brantley hit the slam, pushed it to extra innings. They couldn't get a run across to win it. Texas prevailed, but then just after we left the ballpark, LeBron James and company, the Cavaliers, unbelievable game. They didn't lead the entire way. They tied it virtually at the very end of the game, and then they take their first lead in overtime, and then they hang on to beat Toronto in game 1 of their second-round playoff series.
As Lou said, they stole one last night in Toronto, and they did, and they got the win, and that's what you have to do on the road. But now, this afternoon, the Indians are going to try and win this series against Texas, and Corey Kluber will be our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher. He will be making his 7th start of the year. Last year, he beat the Rangers. He made 2 starts. He was 1-0, 14 innings, pitched well. In his career, he's 3-1 against the Rangers, and the numbers we show you, he's been very good. Coming off, he was just 1 pitch away from a complete game against Seattle. Didn't get a call, gave up a hit on the next pitch, had to come out of that ball game, but you know, he still went 8 2/3, gave up only 4 hits, and he ended up giving up 3 runs, but had his second 10 strikeout game.
For Jeff Bannister, the Texas manager, here's the Rangers starting lineup for this afternoon. Delino DeShields, red hot at the top. Shin-Soo Choo bat second. Jurickson Profar is third. Then Nomar Mazara. Joey Gallo, big home run last night. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa coming off a big night at the plate with 4 hits. Ronald Guzman batting 7th. Juan Centeno gets the start behind the plate. And Drew Robinson will bat 9th.
And the defense behind Kluber, brought to you by Jeep. It's Michael Brantley in left, Rajai Davis in center, Brandon Geyer over in right. It'll be Eric Gonzalez gets the start at third, Francisco Lindor at short, Jason Kipnis is at second, Yonder Alonso at first, Roberto Perez behind the plate.
Change in the umpire rotation for this series finale. Jerry Davis is out, Chris Siegel is in, and he takes over at home plate. So Mark Carlson, the crew chief for today, will be at first base. Brian Knight at second at Hober, who was at behind the plate last night, goes down to third. Glad to have you with us on a gorgeous Wednesday afternoon on this, the second day of May. So far, we really like May. Big fans of May.
Weather-wise, absolutely. No question about it.
Eric Gonzalez getting his second start of the year. First start at third base. I should say his third start of the year. First time he has started at third. The other two games that he got a chance to start were at second base. So Jose Ramirez is out, but as we've seen from Tito, if he needs him late, he could be ready for a pinch hit appearance. Corey Kluber winds it up. We're underway with a fastball, strike one to Delino DeShields. And the 0-1 offering. Just off the plate, 1 ball, 1 strike. Indians come in fourth in the American League in ERA, 3.70 as a pitching staff. Out of play. They have 3 complete games, which is the most in the majors. They have also issued the fewest number of walks in the majors. They are an attack-oriented group.
They are. They really are. And that, you know what? I was thinking about that today, and I think that's one reason why they've given up 11 first pitch home runs on the year, because they attack the strike zone as much as they do. And a lot of times, if you do that, you'll give up some solo home runs, but they don't walk people, and that's a good thing.
One ball and 2 strikes, the count on DeShields. Swung on and missed, and Corey Kluber strikes him out to start the game.
Batting second now.
Well, another breaking ball. Take a look at that slider on the Nissan pitch tracker. Perfectly placed outside. Even if he didn't swing, it would have been a strike because it had home plate. So he starts it off. Strikeout number 1. That's number 48 on the season.
Here is Shin-Soo Choo. 15 hits in his last 14 games. Takes the first pitch strike. Overall, as a pitching staff, the Indians are 7th in the American League in strikeouts. But they're averaging 8.5 punch-outs per 9 innings. It's a little bit down thus far from where they were a year ago. But Arch, so far this year, the only 2 teams in baseball that are averaging more than 10 strikeouts per 9 innings, the Astros and the Yankees.
Yes, those 2 are playing each other in Houston. But the Indians pitchers are going deeper into the games, you know, because of their pitches. Bauer and Clevenger, their pitch counts are down.
I think he went. No, says third base umpire Pat Hoberg. Chu able to check his swing, and he stays alive 1 and 2.
We'll look at the side.
Yeah, good call. The 1-2 to left field. Brantley back, pulls it down. I agree with you. I would, even, you know, just as a pure fan, I say the heck with the strikeouts. Sacrifice a few strikeouts to get me a little deeper into the game. I think that helps the team.
You know, with these guys that we have, they get strikeouts because they pitch from in front of the count. They can expand the zone. That's where their strikeouts come. If you just try to strike out every hitter, and sometimes pitchers fall into that mode, it hurts you more than it helps you. get your outs on 3 pitches or less if you can, and you'll go deeper into most games. So, I mean, that's sort of what's happening this year.
Jurickson Profar riding a 4-game hitting streak, in which he's gone 6 for his last 17.
I mean, we look at Kluber, and that's the bar you said. He's averaging, what, 13.4 pitches per inning. Why does he go out there and pitch 7 innings every single time?
That's why, because he's able to get deeper into the game.
You don't see a 25-pitch inning with him.
The 0-1 fouled back, and it's not that a guy like, let's take Trevor Bauer for example, because he maybe falls towards the other side of the spectrum where he uses a few more pitches, but they don't put the ball in play very. He's hard to hit, and so sometimes his pitch count rises just because the hitters can't make good contact.
Yeah, and you know what? That's hard to do, what we're talking about when you're a major league pitcher with the kind of hitters they have nowadays, because they do that. They foul off a lot of pitches with 2 strikes and stay alive, you know, and make you work a little bit more.
10 out of 12.
Well, he had in his last start, wasn't it 17 out of 20?
Yes.
During one stretch.
And that's a stretch where he retired 11 in a row. The 0-2. God, I'm looking. Profar out admiring. Kluber punches out a pair. The Indians are coming to bat.
And he is the Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher. He is 1-3 on the year. That 1 win came on a road start. This will be his 2nd start on the road. In his last appearance, he came from Toronto and just pitched out of the bullpen for an inning. But he is in his career 2-2 against the Indians. He was 0-1 last year when he was with the Giants.
Rajai Davis is in the leadoff spot today for the Indians. Terry Francona juggling the lineup a bit here this afternoon with the left-hander on the mound and giving Jose Ramirez a day off. So he's got Rajai in the leadoff spot. And Francisco Lindor moves down to the 3-hole. Rajai 2 for 4 in the series with a stolen base and a run scored. Fouls it off.
Matt Moore, a young left-hander that came up with the Tampa Bay Rays, and he was supposed to be a young stud. You know, he came up in 2011 through 13. Through those years, he had 59 starts. He was 29-15 with a .355 earned run average, and then Tommy John hit him in 14. And then from 2015 to 18, 81 starts. He's 23-34, so not the same kind of pitcher.
Chopped to short. Profar has to hurry, and he gets Davis by a whisker, 1 down. Here's the rest of that Indians starting 9 here this afternoon. Michael Brantley will bat cleanup. Edwin in the 5-hole, Yonder Alonso, and then you've got the right-handed bats, Geyer, Perez, and Gonzalez in the bottom 3rd. Jason Kipnis, 4 for 10 in this series. A couple of doubles, 3 runs batted in. Kip, Brantley, Alonso, the only 3 left-handed bats in there today. Overall, the Indians 14th in the American League with a team batting average of .229. There's a fly ball to left. Gallo back, still going back. He's out of room. It's going to be off the wall, and he got pinned up against that wall. And Kipnis is into second base with a double. DeShields very alertly going over to back it up. Maybe he noticed that Gallo was getting too close to that wall, and then he got into a full sprint. Otherwise, Kipnis is standing on 3rd.
That's a good point, Matt. That ball slicing away with the wind blowing from third base out to right field. That ball had some spin to it, and that's a good swing. Jason is starting to come around with that swing that we're used to seeing from him. And you can watch, that's very good hustle. Hey, as an outfielder, you've got nothing else to do. You don't want to be a bystander. You got to get over there and help. But he held him at second, and now Jason with 9 doubles on the year.
Everybody wonders where Jose Ramirez's doubles went. Jason Kipnis has them.
Yeah. Well, he's starting to get that swing back. And guess what? I think it's May, isn't it?
That's right.
April is gone. We've turned the page, and he's had some very good months of May in his career.
Well, 2 games in May, he's got 2 doubles. In fact, if you look at the series, he has a double in each game now in this 3-game series. Lindor on his 8-game homestand has a couple of homers, a couple of doubles. He scored 7 runs. Now a chance to be the guy that can drive him in.
Yeah, he's had a nice homestand so far. On the year, hitting .302 in his home ballpark.
You know, despite the fact that the Indians offensively have been a slow starter this year, they're averaging 3.9 runs a game. When they score 4 or more, they're 10-6. So they're not that far away from kind of getting it turned around.
You're a base hit with a runner in scoring position away.
That's about what it amounts to, right?
You know, it's really a fine line.
And Lindor shoots it into right field. Kipnis will have to stop at 3rd. But the Indians have runners at the corners with 1 out. It's not that Kipnis didn't get a good jump, but there was just a slight hesitation because of that line drive. He wanted to make sure it wasn't right at the first baseman.
That's okay. I like the approach by Lindor of going away. That pitch was away. He stayed on it. That's what you love to see. And Kipnis couldn't do anything. He's got to freeze. And that wasn't much of a hesitation. He wasn't going to score anyway, because you can see the right fielder gets the ball Mazzara before he even gets to third base. So it's 1st and 3rd with 1 out, and a good opportunity to take an early lead.
But here's the other nugget on the Indians offense, Arch. They're 4th in home runs.
Yeah.
You don't think of this as being a big home run team, but we mentioned they've been living on the home run, so they have, to this point, 37 home runs as a team, 4th most in the league.
Yeah, well, Michael hit the big home run last night in the 9th to tie it, and that included 4 runs. So what was it, about 56% of the runs have scored on the home run ball. And you know, Michael's done the job in this situation. Now 5 for 5 with a runner at 3rd, less than 2 outs.
Trying to give the Indians an early lead here this afternoon. Bottom of the the zone. Brantley in the hole 0-2. Of the 4 hitters, 3 have been down on the count 0-2 already here.
He was down 0-2 last night on the grand slam.
Oh, that was a close one. Moore wanted it. Didn't get the call.
Yeah, look at him look into the umpire. That was a tough one to take right there. And I'll tell you what, when you can take a pitch like that and get the call, I know the catcher had to shift. Centeno had to come over there, but boy, that looked like a pretty good pitch.
Now the 1-2 pulls it foul. And as a hitter, you're saying, you know how many times I've been hosed on a bad call, so
yeah.
I'm not going to feel one bit, the least bit bad for you on this day.
And rightfully so. That's exactly how you should feel.
Here's something that should make you feel pretty good. 22 homers by left-handed batters this year for the Indians. That's the most in the majors. Now they do have a lot of left-handed hitters, but they have been producing. The 1-2. Brantley sucks it into center field. Kipnis scores the game's first run. Lindor was going to think about going for third because DeShields fumbled around with the ball, but he'll hold right there at second. 1-0 Cleveland. Brantley's 15th run batted in.
Michael got a pitch down in the zone, man, and he just really throws the bat head at it. Look at this. Well, that's a nice swing, a line drive into that wheelhouse. Line drive, base hit. So 3 consecutive hits will give the Indians an early 1-0 lead. The 15th ribby by Michael.
Back in your era, Reggie Jackson was the self-proclaimed straw that stirred the drink for the New York Yankees. Personalities nowhere near the same, but Encarnacion can have the same impact on this lineup if he gets going with the bat.
He has to get going if you're going to want to. You're talking about scoring 4 or more runs. This is the guy that's got to start hitting and hitting with runners in scoring position. Right now, for the most part, it's been 6 home runs, only 10 RBI. He has only 1 double. That was a bloop double. He's got to start hitting.
There's a fly ball hit the deep left field. Gallo's looking up. It is gone to Souvenir City. Right on cue, Edwin delivers a 3-run homer, and it's 4-0 Cleveland.
He got a changeup to his liking, and the Parrot is out for a stroll this afternoon in the 80-degree weather and loving it, because 3 other baby Parrots or a couple others scored right before him.
10 of his 13 runs batted in this year have come via the home run, and that is a sight for sore eyes.
That's only the 2nd home run Moore has allowed this year. But it's a big 4 spot, and you have Kluber on the mound.
Now Yonder Alonso sends one to center field. The Shields will make the catch, and there are 2 down.
Let's set the Rangers defense now that we have a moment. In the outfield, it's Gallo, DeShields, and Mazzara. On the infield, it's going to be Kiner Khalifa, Profar, Robinson, and Guzman, and a Centeno behind the plate.
And now Brandon Guyer. Guyer in there today with a left-hander on the hill. That's his role, to hit left-handed pitching. And so far this year for Brandon Guyer, 6 of his 7 hits have been against the lefties.
That's the first runs that Moore has given up this year in the first inning.
Good off-speed pitch had Geyer out in front. And it's 2-2. Down in the dirt. Three balls and 2 strikes for Geyer. And the payoff pitch. A soft liner to short ends the inning, but not before the Indians explode here in the first. 4 runs, 4 hits, 1 mighty swing of the bat. And the Indians are up 4-0. Storylines brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Corey Kluber trying to take a little of the burden off of the bullpen by going as deep as he can. And Matt Moore, he'll try to change the eye level, but the eyes were wide open in that first inning for Cleveland as they knock him around for 4 runs on 4 hits. Nomar Mazara. 8 hits in his last 25 plate appearances.
Well, he's having to fit into this lineup. He's usually in one of the top 2 spots for the Rangers when they have all the big boys back in there. Beltre normally hits 4th there, but Mazara is usually 2nd or thereabouts. Put a little more pressure on these young hitters that they have.
High drive, deep right. Geyer's going to watch this one sail out of here. And that's the 6th home run off Corey Kluber this year. Nomar Mazara has his 5th of the season, and the Rangers are on the board. It's 4-1.
He can swing the bat. That's his 5th, as you mentioned. Kluber giving up his 6th. And that ball, I mean, the wind's blowing out that way. You get it up in that breeze today, and it's going to go. And this one did. You see that ball come back, and he got up on top of a high 2-seam fastball.
There's Joey Gallo. His home run last night, one of only 2 hits in his last 18 at bats. it was the Gallo homer that gave Texas the lead in the 12th. Sends a high fly ball left center field. Brantley tracking it on the warning track just shy of the wall. One down. Well, when the Indians score 4 with Kluber on the mound, they've won 67 in a row. This is the kind of day, though, where 4 probably won't be enough, even with Corey Kluber on the mound, because every ball hit in the air seems to be carrying very well.
Well, I'm saying from second base on over, you know, that's going to carry well to right center. That is for sure.
I mean, you hope Corey Kluber can go out and shut him down completely, but I wouldn't just go counting on the 4 spot is what I'm saying.
Corey's given up 12 runs on the year. 9 of them have come off the long ball.
Popped him up infield. Kipnis calls for him.
So you're not going to string a lot of hits together off Corey Kluber, is what I'm saying.
No.
You know, if you get base runners and you got to hope you can run into one, that's maybe when you get the 4 runs.
The first baseman, number 67.
And that will bring up Ronald Guzman. Well, you talk about young players and perhaps a little baptism by fire. Ronald Guzman, last 9 games, 5 for 31. And in this series, the Indians have carved him up pretty good. He's 0 for 7, and he struck out 5 times. Chops it right back to Kluber. And the flip to first ends the inning. Nomar Mazara gets Texas on the board. Middle of the second, 4-1 Cleveland.
Every moment with Indians home screen icons and features like the MLB game of the day, in-game highlights, news, live radio broadcasts, and more. Download MLB At Bat today.
Roberto Perez will lead off the second for Cleveland. Shoots it foul.
Well, there's a stroke you want to see from Roberto. He has been pulling off everything, and he's had a rough go of it lately. So you can see he's trying to shoot it to right field, and that's, I think, one of his strengths when he's hitting well.
And he's got enough power where he can hit the ball out to the opposite field, especially on a day like today.
Yes, he does. You know, we were talking about catchers. Here he is. He's getting a chance to catch Kluber today, maybe because of the schedule, day game after night game. You got a doubleheader tomorrow or whatever. But Andre and we all were talking about it. How, you know, Tito wants his catchers to catch everybody that
on the staff.
Yes, indeed, that goes out there.
Well, think back just a few years ago, 2016, and you know, Yan Gomes and Roberto Perez. That was, I mean, Yan Gomes and Corey Kluber was kind of a match.
Yeah.
Well, Yan got hurt. You go into the postseason, and Roberto's, hey, he's your guy, and that worked very well together. So I think you're right. You never know when an injury might occur, so you've got to be comfortable with everybody on the staff for that very reason.
That is part of what's going on. The other thing Tito said, he said this yesterday, and he talked a little bit more about it today. He wants both of these guys to keep competing. He likes how Yan has been playing.
Right.
He says Yan has earned the time, but he's not going to forget about Roberto because he wants Roberto to get going too.
Yeah, it's best case scenario when both of those guys are playing hard.
But to Matt's point, they don't want to get caught where one guy's just catching one guy and then an injury happens and you're in the playoffs and that guy has to get used to him as well.
Well, one down here in the second inning, and Eric Gonzalez will step to the plate. Andre, while you're there, not that you're going anywhere, but since you're right there at the microphone, Eric Gonzalez getting the start today.
Yes.
A lot of questions. So what's the story on Gio Urshela? What's the very latest on his injury rehab?
24 hours away, basically. The decision will be made about what to do with him. He was playing in Columbus last night. They've got to make a decision one way or the other. And Tito has said time after time, all the way back to Arizona, that it's not going to be an easy decision because they feel like whoever they choose, the other one will get picked up by another team. So I'd say by this time tomorrow, we'll have a good idea if it's Eric Gonzalez or if it's Gio Urshela.
The 0-2 pitch to Gonzalez, right field. Lazara back, and he's not going to get it. It's going to short hop the wall, and Eric's going to stroll into second base with a one-out double. So Eric Gonzalez has his first extra base hit of the year, and he's in scoring position now for the top of the order.
Well, there's an inside-out stroke that had some carry to it. Second double of the day for the Indians. Gonzalez gets his first. So he's not going to go down without a fight. Slices this ball. Short hops the wall. So a one-out double.
And just to clarify what we were talking about with Andre, Giovanni Urshela is out of options. So once his rehab is complete, which it is, the Indians have 24 hours to decide. They either put him on their 25-man big league roster or they have to expose him to waivers, and anybody can play him.
Yeah, and Gonzalez is in the same boat.
Yeah. I want to ask both of you guys. This Gio, we all know, is a Gold Glove caliber defensive player. But there's so many questions, and I'm not saying we make the decision, but there's so many things about Eric Gonzalez. When you talk to people, they think this kid can really play, but he's not going to get the playing time. So what does fit best for the Indians right now?
Well, it's going to be whoever it is, it's going to be in the same boat. Urshela's going to be in the same boat. He's not going to get much playing time.
You'd like to say.
You're going to come as an extra guy.
Yeah, you'd like to say you want them to be able to play and continue to improve, but maybe in the minor leagues play every day. But they're out of options, so that isn't available to you. I
just think Eric is a very interesting prospect that we haven't seen a lot of, and I think you wouldn't like to see him go away. But they don't have that choice right now in this situation.
Yeah, well, they do. Depends on which choice they make.
Right.
Now the 0-2. Just a bit low. Rajay grounded to short, his only time up. And a smash to third. It gets by a diving Kiner Falefa. Gonzalez in the third. He'll be held there. And once again, the Indians come right back. They've got runners at the corners and only one out for the second inning in a row. All right, let's go back and take a look at Jason Kipnis through the series. This is Monday.
Straightaway central, man. Smoked that ball right off the 400-foot sign.
yesterday.
Yeah, and he was robbed of a double. That would have drove in a run right there with 2 outs. Today, that stroke is coming back.
Staying right on it.
Leads the team in doubles with 9.
Rajay inching off at first base. And Kipnis takes a slow hook for a strike.
This is another chance to get that run back that the Rangers put on the board and just take that confidence away from them.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Something I'm sure the Indians have wanted to do was get leads, get early leads. They haven't had many. You know, they've been fighting uphill, man. They haven't been able to score a lot early.
It seems like we've had a lot of games where there's been no score for the first 4 or 5 innings. Kipnis blasts one deep right field. Goodbye. The Indians' second 3-run homer of the afternoon. They didn't have a 3-run homer before today. Yeah, and their lead is now 7-1.
Oh boy, yes indeed. Good things happen when you can put the ball the other way, and then they force him to maybe try to pitch in, and he smoked this ball to right field. That's got to feel good. His first homer. See, he got the fastball. Kept his head right down in there and just lined it out to right center field.
That gives the Indians 5 players in the lineup now. Double figures in RBIs and 6 overall in the club. Ramirez sitting today's game out, but he has 16 runs driven in. That leads the club. So
how about today? The Indians 5 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Remember we were talking about, we say, you know, they just need about an 8-hit day with runners in scoring position. You watch them, they'll start feeling pretty good about themselves.
Up the gut, perfectly placed. Lindor has his second hit of the afternoon, and the Indians are having themselves a day at the plate. That is 8 hits already off Matt Moore here in the second inning. Last night in the 9th inning, down to his last strike, Michael Brantley with a grand slam. Tied the game at 6. And the Texas Rangers are the first team to give up a game-tying grand slam in the 9th inning, but then come back and win it in extra innings since the Houston Astros beat the White Sox in 2006. So it's been a dozen years since it happened. That one goes to the backstop, and down the second goes Lindor. I don't know if this is a fastball that fooled him or just it looked like it kind of got on him quick, didn't it? I know it wasn't perfectly located, but
no, but it's probably still catchable. We'll see what they give him.
And they rule it a pass ball. I think that's the right call. The Texas Rangers had won their last 7 games in which Juan Centeno was in the starting lineup. Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Michael Brantley in his last 16 games 8 times as a multi-hit effort. Now Doug Brocail, it wasn't a stall tactic. They don't have anybody up in the bullpen. It's not, that's the situation. He's trying to get Matt Moore straighten out, but I don't know. The Indians are just teeing off on him. Michael Brantley is the 13th man to hit in the game, and there are 8 hits on the board already.
Yeah, well, you look at their bullpen. I'm sure their bullpen is probably tired. They're heading home after today's game, so they want Matt Moore to at least get him 5 innings before they have to go to that bullpen. But it's ugly now.
Brantley sends a fly ball to center field to Shields. He'll make the catch, and Lindor has to hold at second, 2 down. Both teams making a bullpen move prior to today's game. The Indians designated right-hander Matt Belisle for assignment, and they called up Ben Taylor. And the Texas Rangers put Chris Martin on the disabled list and called up right-handed pitcher Nick Gardewine from AAA.
Some may ask why. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But somebody asked why Belisle went down, or why that made the decision. Tyler Olson has a kid on the way. Could come any day now. Tito doesn't want to be left without a lefty.
Edwin sends a high fly ball right center field. The Shields is back. He's out of room. It's out of here. It's home run derby for Eddie and the Parrot. His second home run of the afternoon. He's driven in 5 already, and this is quickly becoming a rout. Cleveland.
Well, here you go. He hit the changeup in his last at bat for the home run. This time he's trying to go down on the way with a heater, and he stayed on it and takes it out to right. And that ball has carry out that way today. His second home run. 5 ribbies, as you mentioned. Have yourself a day.
Look at Ramirez. He's got the towel over his head. Well, this is the kind of afternoon, and it's still early, but this is the kind of afternoon that this offense has been yearning for. You know, hit a ball hard, get rewarded for it, instead of, oh man, I hit that thing hard and it didn't go anywhere.
Absolutely. They needed, you're right, they need it. Look at the crooked numbers. 4 in the first and 5 in the second.
And Matt Moore has made 50 pitches. That's down low. 2 balls and a strike for Yonder Alonso.
You've already got, this is the second inning. You've got 3 guys with 2 hits already.
Swing and a miss. It's 2-2. Last night the Indians didn't get their second hit as a team until the 4th inning. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strikes him out. First K for Moore, but the damage has been done. Jason Kipnis, a 3-run homer. Edwin's second of the day, and it's 9-1 Indians. home run porch. Ball is flying today. The Indians have already hit 3 home runs, 2 by Edwin Encarnacion, 1 by Jason Kipnis. Those were all crooked number homers. Texas just 1 solo shot thus far from Nomar Mazara. Juan Centeno leads off and takes a strike from Corey Kluber. And he doubles up 0-2. Coming into today, Corey Kluber was 15th in the majors in pitches thrown, which sounds like, man, I can't believe he's that far back in the pack, right? But the only guy ahead of him, as that ball is hit pretty well to deep right field, and back goes Geyer, and it is off the top of the wall and gone. And so another solo home run for the Rangers as Juan Centeno has his first. And it's now 9-2, and man, the ball is really flying out of here today.
Yeah, you want ground balls if you can get them. This one looked like it was up and it was in, and tell you what, he pulled his hands in nicely. That fastball up and in. I don't think Kluber's going to be upset with that pitch, but that thing's not coming back. It's carrying, and that was elevated for a left-hander to hit it up there.
Almost the exact same pitch that Mazara hit out, and they're 2 different sized guys. You know, Mazara's a big tall guy, 6'4", but it's that fastball up and in, and they're able to get to it, get it up into the jet stream, and flying out of here. Drew Robinson fouls one back. It's 0-2. But back to Kluber. The only pitcher that's ahead of him in terms of pitches thrown that's more than 100 pitches ahead of him is Max Scherzer. So after today, he'll be second.
Close.
He'll be second.
Gotcha.
And all those other guys that are ahead of him have already pitched this time through their turn. Bottom line is Trevor Bauer is #1 in the majors. 109 pitches per start, just average per start.
Gotcha.
Kluber's right there behind him. He's 5th, 101. Scherzer, Tyler Skaggs, Tyson Ross just missed outside. Those are the top guys. But you've got 10 pitchers right now in baseball that are all averaging right at 100 or better.
Well, that's usually the threshold nowadays, isn't it? The 100 pitch mark. And you're talking the names that you're talking about that are above that are pretty darn good pitchers.
Pretty much the elite in the game.
Exactly.
Right? So let's go.
They're the ones that get the leash.
There are 36 pitchers in Major League Baseball averaging at least 95 pitches a game. Fouled on the left side. And you figure there's 30 teams.
Yes.
So that's still only about 1 per club overall. Now granted, there's a lot of teams that are more than that. They have multiple guys, but the 3-2 swung on and missed. Corey Kluber with his 3rd strikeout this afternoon, 1 down. Now it's time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Alex Gordon off Craig Kimbrell in the 9th. Ties it up for the Royals. And then Jorge Soler in the 13th over the Green Monster for the 3-run homer and a game winner for KC. Boston's lead over the Yankees, 2 games heading into play today in the East. Broken bat, center field. Rajay Ruising in, he dives, and he couldn't quite scoop it.
Good hustle.
Kept it in front of him though, and the Shields holds with a 1-out single.
Boy, he was probably, I'm telling you, about 3 or 4 inches from that ball going right into his glove. He had to dive straight in on the come as that ball was just bounced in front. Yeah, he was about 3 or 4 inches away from making a beautiful catch. As you say, he kept it in front of him, man on first base. And you know, outfielders today, we've been saying, hey, they can cheat in, they can cheat in. Most of these first two homestands, they got to play deeper today, no question, in center and right, no doubt, because of the way the wind's blowing.
Chu drives one to center. Rajay can't get to that one. That was hit too hard. And now you've got back-to-back singles here in the fourth. I would almost wonder, Arch, on a day like today where you've got the kind of breeze we have, if it would almost force you to say, you know what, I may play in a little bit more, because anything hit over my head looks like it's going to fly out of here anyway.
Well, I wouldn't take the chances of playing in with the wind blowing out here, because you'll be running your tail off. You may have to change shoes halfway in the game. You know, one reason, because a lot of people, they don't like them playing shallow anymore. They'd rather have them deeper to cut off extra base hits.
Well, and
nice pick.
As you said, Corey Kluber doesn't give up many base hits.
Yeah.
Just
right. He's going to strike you out, and you can get some fly balls. And, you know, the one guy where a lot of times when he pitches, there may not be a lot of action going, but he throws so many strikes that the defenders are always on their toes ready to go and make plays. And, you know, he's not too deliberate out there in his game.
up and away. 2-0.
But again, we talked about it, Matt, before the game started, that we're going to see how he responds after coming out to that almost complete game in his last start. You know, what does he have in him? And we'll check early and see. Well, in the first 3 innings, he's already given up 2 runs, a couple of home runs, and he's given up 4 hits.
Yeah, it wasn't so much that he went deep into the game, because he's done that before. He already has a complete game effort this year, but the 116 pitches,
right,
that extended him a little bit farther than, you know, what he's used to. And he even made the comment after the game. Somebody asked him, did you lobby to stay in, try to get that last out? He said, no, I was gassed. Yeah, it was clearly the end of the line. 2 on, 1 out, 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. And he struck him out. And with that, Corey Kluber takes over the major league lead in innings pitched.
Well, there's the first run of the day given up by Kluber. The home run, it was another fastball up and in, traveling 423 feet. That was a bomb.
Kluber now has logged 48 innings, most of the majors. Verlander had the lead coming in at 47 2/3, but those two guys really have been at the top of their game to start this year. Verlander down in Houston, Kluber for the Indians. Ground ball to second. Kipnis with the flip. Kluber with a nice job to grab it and kick the bag to end the inning. Another solo shot for Texas, but the Indians still lead it 9-2.
Package for the best seats at the best prices. You'll save big over single game prices and get exclusive perks. See Indians.com for more details.
Matt Moore delivers up high, ball 1 to Brandon Geyer. Geyer 0 for 1. Six out of the 9 starters already have at least 1 hit today for the Indians. Taken all the way, it's 3-1. There's a high fly ball, deep left field. Gallo back, looking up. It is off the top of the wall. Hit right at the very top of the built-in out-of-town scoreboard. And Geyer's into second base with a double.
That's Brandon's 4th double of the year. Let's take a look at it. It's a fastball that is right there, boy, and he was ready for it. He didn't miss it. You have got to stay out of the middle of the plate today if you're any pitcher, because hitters are ready to go. They're feeling good. It's warm. The ball is carrying.
And now Roberto Perez.
Extra base hits for the Indians already. 3 homers, 3 doubles.
Swung on and missed. And even though the Indians have really battered Moore around here in the early going, Jeff Bannister has made it clear to Moore, hey, you've got to help the bullpen. You've got to help the team and suck up some innings, even though maybe under normal circumstances he'd have gone to the bullpen by now.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. Yeah, when you're trying to win that ball game, you don't want to let it get out of hand early in it. Sometimes you just don't have the reserve to do that, because that bullpen may be shot out there. They've made a move, and you know they're just you got to give me some innings today is what you have to do.
Indians are having a day with runners in scoring position so far.
They need a day like that, and they really, and hopefully the confidence continues.
Roberto not happy with that strike called against him, puts him in the hole 1-2. That's when the Indians seems to be at their best today against Moore, when they're down on the count.
Right, 2 strikes. That's something that
Tom Bochenek tells me that when the Indians are down 0-2 today, they're already 4 for 5 against Moore.
Well, that's where, yeah, you take advantage of it as a pitcher, but the Indians have turned the tables on them. In our last series, it was the Seattle Mariners that did it to us with the 2 strikes
and the 2 out
and
homers.
the 2 out homers and hits.
Down and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just missed at the top of the zone and a full count.
This is going to be a changeup thrown by Moore, and that's borderline. Not going to get the call because it was upstairs.
And Roberto draws a walk. Time now to take a look at our Mike Bass Ford Hall of Fame moment. Jim Thome. This was in Detroit in 2001 when he homered to become the Indians' all-time home run leader. .337 home runs in an Indians uniform. Now Eric Gonzalez He's got a line drive single in the left field, and how about that? He's 2 for 2 today. And the bases are loaded with nobody out.
Well, they've already been through the lineup twice, Matt, and we're going now into the third inning. They have bases loaded, nobody out, so they may have to be forced to get somebody out. Gonzalez drops the head. He doubled the right his first at bat. Now he's going to turn on the baseball, and today it just looks like the Indians are ready to take some batting practice. Already with 11 hits and 9 runs, and they were only in the third inning. And an opportunity to put another crooked number on the board, and they've already put 2 on.
Here's the pitch. Rajai Davis sends a fly ball center field to Shields. Makes the catch, tagging at third, and coming home is Geyer. And Rajai Davis has his first RBI of the year, and the Indians' lead is now 10-2.
Well, Jason Kipnis hit his first home run in his last at bat, a 3-run homer. And that was coming off the bat at 107, going 396 feet, and that's a 3-pointer. You got to love that. He's getting locked in.
A season high 10 runs for the Indians, and we're only in the third. Jason Kipnis has doubled, homered, and driven in 3. And he takes what is called a strike.
Yeah, you could tell he didn't like it, but
out front. A little low.
more, another 0-2 count coming in here right now. See if Jason can get himself back into the at bat.
Now you've got some of those Texas players who are looking around going, ooh, is this inning ever going to end? 1-2 on the way. Because to them, it probably feels like, have we been up the bat yet? I mean, it feels like they've probably been in the field the whole game.
Yeah, they've been out there. They have been out there all game, and that's a tough way to play early in the game. And you know you're not going to score 10 off Kluber.
Back to Moore. He goes to second for 1, but they cannot turn the double play. Just a little slow in developing. So first and third with 2 down. And that's going to bring up Frankie Lindor. Lindor 2 for 2, 2 runs scored. Foul back, strike 1. And the count quickly 0-2. 10 runs for the Indians, most they have scored since last September, when 3 different times last September. They scored 11 runs in a game. The 0-2. Right back up the middle. A diving stop by Profar. The flip to second is in time for the inning-ending force. That's a spectacular play by Jurickson Profar to get Matt Moore out of further trouble. But the Indians have hung 10 on Texas through the first 3 innings. .67 miles an hour. Sign him up.
Is that what it said? You can see that, huh? Okay.
Bringing the heat. He's not even loose yet.
Well, yeah, he's going to go back and he'll wake up tomorrow. His arm's going to be hanging from his body.
Except calling Dr. Boo Boo for a rotator cuff surgery. 4th inning. Joey Gallo leads off. And that pitch is inside, ball 1. Gallo flied to left his only time up in the 2nd inning.
Very deep to left. Right around the warning track. This guy, he takes the same swing every time, and if he hits it, he can hit it out of sight.
Tailing off the plate, 1-1.
Change up there.
Chased one up out of the zone. Figure, hey, if he chased the last one, maybe he'll chase it again, but no, sir.
We mentioned in that first game how much of the batter's box that this guy takes up with that wide open stance. His left foot's on the back line, and his right foot's way over on the right side. Kluber gets his 5th strikeout.
Kia, drive to success. American League batting average by opponents against pitchers. Sean Manaea, who's off to a fantastic start for Oakland, is number 1, then Verlander, and then Kluber.
Verlander had a game last night, huh? 14 strikeouts, 8 innings against the Yankees. He was dealing.
It's almost like he's been
and they lost.
Energized by that move to Houston. What a play by Alonso. So he feels that he's moving towards second base. He's got to plant and hit a moving target, and he fired a perfect strike to Kluber. 2 down.
Yeah, when he went over there, I was a little surprised that he went that far off the bag, but he made this play look pretty easy. It was an easy play for Kipnis. But there you go. No big deal.
Ronald Guzman takes ball 1. Guzman made contact his first time up, but literally rolled it right back to Kluber. Well, there's a case where Guzman opened his hips and started swinging, and by the time the ball got there, the only place he could have hit that ball was into his dugout. Really fooled by Kluber. But hey, you're 2-0. You want to take a hack? Why not? Taking that pitch for a strike. 2-2 the count. And now the 2-2. Popped him up. Kipnis says, I'll take it. And he does. A 1-2-3-4 for Corey Kluber. And the Indians continue to roll.
Service free. You'll receive your item no matter what time you arrive at the ballpark. Just visit Indians.com for all the details.
Home half of the 4th. Michael Brantley, Edwin Encarnacion, and Yonder Alonso due up. Brantley drove in a run and scored in the 1st inning. To second, Robinson throws him out, 1 down. Edwin Encarnacion is already 2 for 2, and both have left the building.
They certainly did. The changeup on the first one. There's the stat cast there, 412 feet that he hit, and the fastball in his second at bat going the other way, 397. 2 home runs and 5 ribbies on the afternoon for Edwin.
Matt Moore delivers a fastball for strike one. Indians started the day 4th in the American League in home runs. And already hit 3 today to give them 40 on the year.
Coming into today's game, too, Encarnacion was just 2 for 32 against left-handed pitching.
Yeah.
So now add 2 more hits. He only had 2 RBIs.
Juan Centeno taking one under the chin.
Oh boy, I'll say. Give him a little breathing room.
30th multi-homer game of Edwin's career. Center field, DeShield started back, now breaks in. 2 down. You know, you talk about Matt Moore, and we were chatting about this before we came on the air. When he first came up with Tampa in 2011, he came up at the end of the year. And then all of a sudden they're in the postseason. And he starts game 1 of the American League Division Series against these Texas Rangers with only 1 career big league start under his belt. And what does he do? He goes out and throws 7 innings of 2-hit shutout baseball. And the Rays beat the Rangers 9-0. He became the first rookie in Major League history to go at least 7 and not give up a run, 2 or fewer hits in the postseason.
Do you remember that game?
Oh, yeah.
I can remember
thinking,
that game.
Where did they find this guy?
Right. He was a young kid at the time. And again, he gets a start, and you know, you would think the biggest atmosphere of his life, at least at that point.
Yonder Alonso taking.
Texas had a pretty good team then too. And they're saying, who is this guy?
And that's when Tampa, you know, seemed like they were drafting and producing good young pitching talent, position players. The 3-1 and ball 4. It's only the second walk issued by Matt Moore. Give him credit. I mean, it's not like he's been nibbling. He's been attacking. It's just that he has been giving up some crooked numbers.
And he's been able to get ahead of a lot of hitters. But the Indians have been able to get hits when they have been at 2 strikes.
Just now, a right-hander begins to throw in the Texas bullpen. 86 pitches on the day for Moore. Brandon Guyer doubled off the wall and scored his last time up. Double to left. Speaking of the out-of-town scoreboard, Minnesota on top of Toronto 2-0 there in the 5th. Tampa shutting out Detroit 2-0 in the 5th. Royals Red Sox tied 3-3 also in the 5th. Guyer drills one deep left but foul. Going to get an update from Al Pulaski on that Royals Red Sox game. Stay tuned for that. The 1-1. Something else, Arch, I noticed, and I don't recall if this goes back to last year, but Texas does not play a lot of shifts. Haven't really noticed or seen them really shifting guys on the infield or really much in the outfield.
You're right. In this series, compared to a lot of the teams we've played, you're right.
The 1-2. Back out of play. Now I understand some of that is designed to enhance your pitching staff, so you kind of play to your guys' stuff and how it plays against the hitters. But I also wonder if maybe it's just an overarching organizational philosophy of Texas, like, yeah, we're not into all that analytic stuff. Maybe, I don't know.
Not as much maybe as some teams. It's rare when you can go and see a team not playing a shift on anybody in that lineup.
Seattle played a ton of shit. Baltimore plays a bunch. Although Baltimore not a ton, I wouldn't say.
Well, they were shifting guys with 2 strikes.
That's what, yeah.
You know, after you get to 2 strikes, they'd keep Machado on the shortstop side and send the third baseman Beckham over.
A booming foul ball by Geyer.
Well, I wonder how his wrist is feeling now in the last few days in this warm weather. I bet it's feeling better. Andre, you heard anything? Have you heard him talk?
The question, please, sir.
Geyer's wrist in the warm weather.
Oh, yeah, he loves it. It feels much better. He hasn't had to use the workout ball today.
Fouled right back.
And he's had a lot of lefties on that have been pitching recently, so he's been able to swing.
He just drilled one off the wall in his last at bat, so it's got to be feeling better, huh?
No, it's feeling much better, but the weather helps tremendously, and he said that that's been the hardest thing he's had to deal with the first month of the season. I think everybody's happy that it's May and that their sun is out.
They don't care what it is, as long as, yeah, it's just nice and warm.
To left. Gallo makes the catch. Indians don't score for the first time in an inning today. They lead it 10-2. The 2018 Kia Sorento, the perfect getaway vehicle. Visit KiaDealers.com to learn more. Buy Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And buy your Chevy Network dealers. Visit ClickChevy.com. Chevrolet, find new roads. Barrio. Now there's a place, Art, you want a good taco.
There you go. Tequila and whiskey.
Yes, sir. You can have some of that too, but if you want a good taco, you went right to tequila.
Well, I was just reading the sign. That looked good.
Juan Centeno. He homered in the 3rd inning for Texas. Just missed outside. Barring injury, Corey Kluber will finish this season, and he'll have the 3rd most strikeouts in Cleveland Indians franchise history. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is, because it doesn't seem like he's been here all that long.
The 2-2. Ground ball to Jason Kipnis. Let's head over to a game break with Al Pulaski.
All right, Matt, Rick, let's head to Fenway Park, Kansas City and the Red Sox, and it's home run derby today at Fenway Park. 3 home runs. J.D. Martinez's 6th right here. Ties it up at 3. Mookie Betts has 2 home runs, giving him 10 on the year. And by the way, J.D. Martinez has given the Sox a 4-3 lead here. 89 RBIs in his last 89 games, guys.
That would be the definition of consistent.
He went for a while unsigned, too, didn't he?
1 down here in the 5th. Getting back to Kluber, #1 in Indians history in strikeouts, our guy Bob Feller. 2,581, 2,581 strikeouts. Second, no surprise, Sudden Sam McDowell,
All right.
2,159. Third all-time is Bob Lemon and Early Wynn. They both had 1,277 strikeouts. Then you got CC, Chuck Nagy. Corey Kluber began the year at 1,201. So with 47 plus 5 more, so he's at 52. So that's 1,253 strikeouts. So he's closing in now on CC for 5th all time, and he'll blow by Lemon and Wynn.
Yeah.
Probably next month sometime, the way he piles up the strikeouts. But that, I thought that was amazing that all of a sudden now you're going to be talking about Feller, McDowell,
Kluber.
and Kluber. Number 1, 2, and 3 in strikeout history. And those are some great names we're talking about. Lemon, Early Wynn.
No question.
Mel Harder was another great pitcher and a fine gentleman who's a great ambassador to this franchise for so many years. His
This
number's
franchise has
retired.
had some very good pitchers in it when you
No
go back
doubt.
100 years, you know, with that 68 staff, and
Lel Tiante.
before that, you know, with the greats of the 54 team that you're talking about there. Then you get into the 60s and get Tiant and
Foul.
yeah, there's been some very good pitchers in this
Sonny
organization.
Siebert. Our guy Gary Bell, can't leave him out either,
No,
right?
Gary's won over 100 games, right? Well, Dennis Eckersley in this organization, but he never stayed here long enough to accumulate any strikeouts or anything. They traded him.
The 3-2. Swung on and missed. And that's a half dozen Ks for Kluber. Who knows, Arch, maybe someday people in San Diego will be talking about Corey Kluber that way, saying, you know, we could have had that guy, but we traded him away.
No doubt they will.
The Indians have been the beneficiary of a guy who was a late bloomer. I mean, nobody disputes the fact that this was not a prime time can't miss prospect. He was a kind of a late bloomer, and the Indians saw something there. Nobody saw this necessarily, but
that goes to the testament of Corey Kluber himself, of the hard work and dedication he put into his craft to come out and be as good as he is. And you know, we talk about the stoic, you know, look and how he carries himself on the mound. He's never off balance. He's never maxing out at 100%. He's just constantly, the ball is like a wiffle ball for him.
Lindor throws out Delano to Shields, and that's 8 straight set down by the Klubot. 10-2 Tribe. clinic call to the bullpen has been made by Texas manager Jeff Bannister. Nick Gardewine just called up today when they put Chris Martin on the disabled list. Takes over for Matt Moore after the Indians touched him for 10 runs on 11 hits and 4 innings of work. Gardewine, his second stint already with Texas this year, has given up a couple of runs in just 3 innings of work, covering 2 appearances. He's got the bottom part of the order. Roberto Perez, then Eric Gonzalez, and then Rajai Davis. And a big rip, but a foul straight back.
Got to send along happy birthday wishes to Rose Smith, celebrating her birthday today. A huge Tribe fan. Rose, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. The 0-1. And Roberto able to lay out Perez. Drew a walk his last time up. And a line drive to left field. Stays up for Joey Gallo, 1 down. Arch. We know that in baseball, momentum, there is no such thing when it comes day to day. You know, momentum is the next day's starting pitcher. But what can a game like today do for an Indians offense that was struggling so much?
Well, especially with runners in scoring position, that could be a confidence builder for this ball club. They started out 5 for 5 in that category, and they've just been hitting the ball all over the place. They have 6 extra base hits. That's something that it's just a confidence builder.
Speaking of confidence builder, Eric Gonzalez has his 3rd hit of the day, and this one's going to go all the way to the wall. DeShields slipped and fell down, and Gonzalez is going to go into 3rd with a triple. He's a homer shy of the cycle.
There you go, and a misplay there by DeShields as he slipped. He thought he might have a chance to catch that ball, went to put the brakes on and falls down, and it gets by him. So Gonzalez 3 hits today. And you say all 3. He started off with a double, a single, now a triple. Well, he's got to go for it his next at bat. There you'll see the slip. Only the Indians' 2nd triple on the year. And their 7th extra base hit this afternoon.
Bradley Zimmer takes over for Rajai Davis. And takes a strike. Zimmer fouls one back. Zimmer just 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter. Overall hitting .228. The homer, 3 runs batted in. Swing and a miss, and he's down on strikes, 2 down. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk and Elk. Miguel Sano, 10-day DL with a hamstring injury for the Twins. Johnny Cueto, elbow injury, has him sidelined with San Francisco. Jason Kipnis doubled and scored in the first, hit a 3-run homer in the second. The injury, big injury question here in Cleveland is Andrew Miller. and he's scheduled, at least could come off the DL by the end of this upcoming weekend. See if Andre has an update for us.
Well, he threw again today.
Okay.
He was moving. I watched him run up the steps. Everything looks good so far, just has not been on the mound yet. But Saturday is the day. And we were speaking of this earlier before Edwin hit a home run. The reason why they made the move that they made, Tito wants to keep a lefty just in case, because Tyler Olson's wife is pregnant and could have a baby at any time or moment. So that's why they made the moves they did with the bullpen before the game today. And Ben Taylor also hasn't thrown in 3 days, so he'll probably, if things stay this way, that'd be the guy that they would go to first, as both the lefties are out of today's game.
Kipnis punches one foul the other way. We mentioned it before that sometimes during the course of a season you go through stretches where the bullpen just gets overworked, and then there are times where your starters are going so deep in the game the bullpen needs work. You're always fighting between those two.
That's how it started out this year, and that ball, Kipnis is just throwing it down. It must have got him on the foot. Absolutely.
No, the home-plate umpire is saying no, it didn't.
Well, Kipnis is looking at the dugout saying check it, is what he's saying. The umpire didn't call anything, but he, as soon as that ball went in the dirt near his feet, he dropped his bat and started to take his protective thing off.
You're going to have to take a look at it.
Well,
I don't know how he missed that.
Well, watch. You see the spin, it's down. It's right off his toe, and then look at the bounce on it.
Now I can see how he missed
his
it.
Back foot.
Yeah.
So he's going to walk down, even as they're going to, review it. He knows, but just the reaction that he showed as soon as that ball went down, he knew it got him on the foot. Now this should be, you should take no time whatsoever as far as reviewing this. Look, they can see it themselves. They already saw it once. They smile at each other.
Yeah, you're right. We don't need to send this one to New York. You put it up on the big board. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. Let's go, fellas.
So Mark Carlson, acting crew chief, gives the signal. Kipnis awarded first base. First and third, 2 now. Frankie Lindor, the batter. Lindor 2 for 3. 2 singles, 2 runs scored. Tried to hold up, but he went around. Nick Gardewine misses outside. 1-1. Coming into today, the Indians and Rangers in the first 2 games of this series had combined through the first 6 innings for 5 runs. Swinging a high fly ball, left field. Back goes Gallo, still going back, and it's up against the wall, and DeShields just made a phenomenal catch to end the inning. Boy, Delino DeShields going all out. And he came flying in and made the play to save Texas any further damage. Anything to suit your taste buds. Barbecue stand right here, throwing smoke. Is that the stand where you guys had the barbecue that had the Cheetos on it?
Ask Andre.
The really hot one. I think that was it.
Andre. That might be it.
You guys know when it's time to talk food, you come to me. No, that's not the place. That's the place in the playoffs, Matt, that we had the big turkey leg. Remember
yeah.
That place, their own smoke has got good stuff. Now, the sandwich we had.
That had the Cheetos, the hot flaming Cheetos on it. Oh, that was a
special fix-up for Andre.
John, when the team's up 10-2, we talk about food. We're talking about food at the ballpark.
the 0-1. Chu checks. Did he go? He did not. Who's giving you grief down there?
Jan has a day off, so he's sitting here asking why we're talking about food here. I told him when it's up 10-2, talk about the food at the ballpark a little bit.
Ask Jan, do we have a good Brazilian spot here in town that he hits? The 1-1.
Here's a question. A good Brazilian food place in Cleveland that we should hit up? He says yes.
Does he have a name?
Enlargement? I can't say that. Say that one more time.
Batuki.
Don't worry, Cookie takes it all the time.
Oh, man. Here's the 1-2 to Chu. Just missed inside, not by much.
Yeah, trying to get that two-seam fastball come back on the inside.
And Kipnis with a grab for out number 1. Toyota mid-game recap. First inning, Edwin Encarnacion, a 3-run jack made it 4-0. Second inning, Jason Kipnis goes deep, a 3-run homer, and it's 7-0. And then a few batters later, Edwin with his 30th career multi-homer game, a 2-run shot made it 9-1. And the Indians have just been rolling ever since. They lead it 10-2. Corey Kluber has given up a couple of solo home runs, one on the second to Mozart, the other one to Centeno in the third. Bradley Zimmer has taken over in center field after he pinch hit for Rajay Davis.
Cloud's starting to move in a little bit. Is that wind staying pretty good?
Yeah, there's a chance later tonight for some shower activity. 2-1 pitch, missed inside.
Now the one good thing is that the forecast changed dramatically compared to what it was a few days ago for tomorrow's doubleheader here.
Yeah,
that'll start at 1 o'clock, and it'll be a traditional doubleheader against the Toronto Blue Jays.
And that wraps up the homestand. And it's been a long one.
Yes, it has. First 2.
To first base, Alonso with a nice backhand and a good quick flip to Kluber, 2 down. Well, tomorrow's double dip will be televised right here on Sports Time Ohio. Alan Jensen get our coverage started tomorrow with Indians Live at 12:30. First pitch just after 1 right here on Sports Time Ohio. You can stream it live on Fox Sports Go. We'll have both games for you. Alan Jensen, not only will they start our coverage, they'll keep us entertained between games, and then they'll come back after game 2 and wrap the whole thing up in a nice tidy package.
Like only they can. Keep us entertained.
Cookie, big start for him. You know, last start, you know, it was like he couldn't get out of his own way. You know, looked like he was going to get deeper into the game than he ended up going. Swing and a miss. First loss of the season for Carrasco his last time out. Just 3 innings of work. The 0-1. And it's a great opportunity for Adam Pletko. Gets to start in the other game of the doubleheader. He's the so-called 26th man. Get an extra player.
Yeah, for double headers now, yes. Can bring one up for a game, or any position player, whatever you'd like to do.
There's the 0-2 from Kluber. Up and away. Toronto's been playing well. They've won 3 in a row coming into today, 17-12 overall.
Yeah, they're off to a very good start. That's a team that I think has surprised some people. I don't think a lot of people thought they were going to be as good as they are.
Marcus Stroman pitching for the Blue Jays today, but so far Minnesota has kept them off the board.
He's the one that's struggling. The other guys, and he's supposed to be their ace. The other guys have played very well, but he's trying to find it.
Twins lead that game 2-0 in the 6th against Toronto in the 6th inning. Corey Kluber, the wide on the 1-2. Taps it to first. Again, Alonso. How about the glove flip this time to Kluber?
PFP.
Oh, he's just showing off now. 1, 2, 3. Go the Texas Rangers. And that's 11 in a row retired by Kluber.
Over the last 4 or 5 days, things have been a tad rough for the Indians bullpen. But in talking to Dan Otero, he thinks this time will help change and help all these guys prepare to be better moving forward. Now, here right sounds of the game.
Losing a key guy like Miller hurts, but everybody here is very capable of handling the job, and everybody did that tonight for the most part. You know, Goody was extended a little bit, maybe further than you probably normally would, just because of the necessity, and that happens. And sometimes you come out of the short end, but the competitiveness was there, and I can't say enough about the offense coming back from 6-0.
See, they realize it, and they know sometimes they are going to get extended, and they rise to the occasion. Sometimes you get burnt.
Yeah, and the other thing that really illustrated well in that sound from Andre there with Dan Otero is that these guys really are, it's not just lip service, it's not just, you know, out there to make the team look good. It's not PR is what I'm trying to say. These guys really are a tight-knit group, and those bullpen guys stick together. Just because somebody wears it and gives it up a couple of days, they're not treated like a pariah. They don't avoid the guy.
Right.
They're there to pick him up and say, hey, you know what, it's been rough for you. We get that. Maybe we've asked a little bit too much of you, but don't worry, we've still got your back.
In the long haul, they're going to need them. You know, you don't want to lose anybody, because you're right.
And you need every one of them.
Right.
Sure. I think that's the cool thing I think about this bullpen and how these guys stand up for each other. You know, Dan, said last night, he goes, hey, Goody went further than any of us thought he was going to go. We only had McAllister left. Let's not put this all on Nick Goody for what happened last night.
And let's not forget, one of your best relievers,
right?
He's on the DL.
Yep. And your other best reliever couldn't pitch because he threw 40 pitches the night before.
But he wanted to. He wanted it again. He threw 40-some pitches, and he told Tito, put me in there. And Tito said, I'm not going to do that.
Tito's too smart for that. He's not biting on that.
Tito said, no, thank you.
And Brantley turns that fastball around. Up the alley in right center. He's headed to second base with a double, his 6th two-bagger of the year, his 2nd hit of the afternoon.
Again, another multi-hit game now. 9 out of the last 17 for Brantley. He just got on top of that one. Watch him get up. He's a good low ball hitter. If we that first base hit he got today in the first inning, he just dropped the barrel head and it was down. Hit a line drive. That time, total opposite pitch upstairs. He was able to get on top of that. Gets a double.
93-mile-an-hour fastball, no problem. Here's Edwin Encarnacion. He's driven in 5 today. 3-run homer in the first, 2-run homer in the second.
$13 hits, 8 extra base hits for the Indians.
Last time Edwin had a 3-homer game was against the Tigers back in 2015. High fly ball, shallow right, in comes Mazar. 1 down. Hey, the $15 district ticket presented by Sportstime Ohio includes your first drink, so grab your friends and head to the drink rails in left or the district, the corner down there in right field. Only available at Indians.com/district ticket. Alonso with a blooper toward left, but stays up for Gallo to run it down. 2 away. It's Wednesday, but it kind of has a weekend feel because of the weather has everybody in such a festive atmosphere and mood.
Well, that and it's a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah.
You know, a day game.
Yeah.
Sunday travel day. Usually the only 1 o'clocks because we play 4 o'clocks on the Saturdays.
Yeah.
6 o'clock during the week. So it's nice to get out here and play a 1 o'clock game. Used to be noon games here on getaway day.
When is the last time we've had back-to-back day games during the week?
Yeah, good question.
And then you get 2.
We get a
New York as
bonus
well.
game tomorrow.
Yeah, that is a bonus, I guess.
Well, seeing you had a little vacation on this trip, we're going to make you work double time to get your payback.
Sound like mama at home.
You won't have enough time to stay home. Make sure you bring your suitcase tomorrow.
I'll bring my suitcase and all the things you need when we go on the road. I'll bring that backpack to carry you around that we saw the guy.
That's right.
Night.
Yeah. I thought it was an arm brace. I thought he had a broken arm.
Yeah, it will be after carrying you
It's
around.
an Archie pack. I want you to carry me around New York is what I want.
Back when you had kids, they didn't even have baby carriers. Runner at second, 2 down.
They invented them when Andre was born.
The 2 right
Here it
back our
comes.
way.
Look
Oh,
at that.
yeah.
I mean,
Look at
asking you shall receive. I
go.
mean, they go right back and get it.
It's got back support and everything for you. See that?
For you.
For you, I would need it.
Look at the front pack on the other guy.
Oh,
yeah, you
I
notice
didn't-
what line they're in, though, for the brewery. They're carrying the kids and they're drinking.
That's what kids.
You can't-
Parents, that's what happens.
You're not allowed.
The 2-2 missed
Drink and
inside.
walk.
And a full count.
I have to order 2 of those for New York, please.
I'll have one, and my little friend here will have a short one.
Give him a shot.
I don't know what happened, honey.
The payoff pitch to Brandon Geyer. And a foul right back. Roberto Perez would be next.
think Brandon can get another base hit with a runner in scoring position. Nope.
That is forte, hadn't it? Shallow right. Mazzara puts it away. We'll go to the 7th. 10-2 Cleveland. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk. Proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. There's my spot right there, the happy dog. They got a hot dog there with Fruit Loops on it.
Do they really? That's well, it's a day game. Get your breakfast dog. Uh-oh, see what the wind does here.
Joey Gallo with a towering fly ball, and it's going to carry out of here. Third solo home run of the afternoon for Texas, and it gives Joey Gallo 10 home runs on the year.
And that stops a string of 10 in a row for Corey Kluber. 11. But in the first pitch home run, but he got it in there, and Gallo got a first pitch homer last night, but he didn't get that one in there. That stayed. That was similar to the pitch that he hit out last night. So another solo home run given up by Kluber. That's 3 today.
And a first pitch strike to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Well, you know, something going back to a conversation earlier in the game, the efficiency with which he pitches enables him to all of a sudden you look up and you're in the 7th inning.
Yes.
You know, you want him to give you length that you're hoping on a day like this where their bullpen's kind of had a lot of work lately that he can get you deep, and before you know it, he's done just that.
Well, and he's still right there at 88 pitches, not like it's laboring or anything.
Right at Lindor. One away.
Well, the MLB Ballpark app is presented by KeyBank. The app lets you conveniently purchase, access, and forward your Indians tickets directly to your mobile device. Then have it scanned for entrance to the ballpark. No need to print tickets.
Ronald Guzman 0 for 2. Missed inside. Guzman fouls one back, and the count is 1-1. If you joined us late, the Indians jumped them early. 4 runs in the first inning. Rajai Davis grounded out, and then a double by Kipnis. Base hits by Lindor and Brantley, and it was 1-0, and then Encarnacion a 3-run homer. And you just had a feeling that they weren't done, and they certainly were not. Came right back in the second. A 1-out double by Gonzalez. Rajai with a base hit, 3-run homer by Kipnis, and a single by Lindor, and Encarnacion another home run. This is a 2-run shot. And I mean, before you blinked, there were 9 runs on the board.
And the Indians haven't hit a 3-run homer until today. Encarnacion hit the first one. Kipnis hit the second one. That and good pitching carries you a long way.
One-hop smash from the hole. Lindor came off the bag. Did Alonso, but Guzman sliding into first. That's how badly he wanted that hit.
Well, and when he sees the first baseman coming off the bag, that's one of the reasons why you'll go in there and try and do a slide to get past him so you don't get tagged. And Frankie just didn't get the throw where he wanted to. He was still moving. Watch. And he tried to get rid of it quickly, and he was just going to bounce it on the ground, but he just didn't start it off to the left enough of Alonso, and that's where you go sliding in. And it wasn't head first, mind you. So that'll be a base hit for Guzman.
1-on, 1-out, Juan Centeno. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Kluber has struck out 6 and now 8 ground ball outs on the afternoon. You know, he'd love to see a 2-for-1 here. With the catcher running, he'd have a pretty good shot at turning it. Centeno did ground a ball to Jason Kipnis his last time up. Checked this swing and fouled it back. 2-2.
Yeah, the Rangers with 6 hits, 3 solo home runs, 3 singles.
The 2-2 is a little jam shot towards short. There's one. Kipnis relays the first double play. Corey Kluber goes 7. And the Indians are in command 10-3. 7, gives up 3 runs on 6 hits, did not walk a batter, struck out 6. And the Indians got him 4 runs. And when they do that, he is just about as good a guarantee as you can ask for in professional sports today.
Yes, indeed.
Jesse Chavez coming on for the 9th time this year for Texas. Nick Gardewine, excuse me. Nick Gardewine gave Texas 2 innings of relief, 2 scoreless, couple of hits allowed. I knew I was going to call him Gardenhire at some point.
Well, it's easy too.
Chavez will face Roberto Perez, Eric Gonzalez, and Bradley Zimmer here in the 7th. Up high, ball 1.
Where did we go over to the queue for big time wrestling? Where was he at?
Right behind home plate.
Oh, I thought he was yelling at Andre.
Tell you what, Andre's got a buddy you can stick on that guy. You wouldn't want to mess with that dude.
My man Jose Ramirez.
Oh, I mean, no, not him. The guy from the pregame that's in the Ultimate Fighter.
Oh yeah, that's Jose is his name.
But it's not Jose Ramirez, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, just like our third baseman?
Yes, sir. He is phenomenal. He's going to be on the FS1 show tonight, the Ultimate Fighter, getting coached by Stipe, so it should be very fun to see him tonight. The fight actually already happened, but it sounds like he's going to be ready to go, and Jose Martinez is the name, excuse me.
I was going to say, they don't have 2 Jose Ramirez.
Well, here's a great story, though. So Michael Brantley ran out, and Jose is from here, and Jose is a big fan, and he wanted to say hi to him. Well, Michael Brantley gave the stare down that he gives to me every day, and he looked at me and he goes, man, I never thought Michael Brantley was intimidating. I go, you're the UFC fighter. How's he intimidating you? And so Brantley comes back and goes, hey, who was that guy? And I told him, he goes, oh, man, I'm a big fan of his. And I go, well, stop staring everybody down and maybe you would have met him.
Don't be so intimidating.
Right.
0-2 count on Eric Gonzalez. Just missed outside. Boy, Eric Gonzalez having himself quite a day. It's his 3rd start of the year.
Go deep.
Getting his first start at third base. He has doubled, singled, and tripled. And now he goes down on strikes. But the Indians, they've got a tough decision to make coming up because Gio Urshela is going to be coming off the DL, and they got to make a decision there. Well, hey, don't forget to check out the Red Zone. Did the Browns make the right moves with this year's draft picks? Find out what Jim Donovan, Doug Deacon, and Tony Grossi think about the Browns' choices on the Red Zone Draft Special tonight at 8 on Sports Time Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go. And Browns general manager John Dorsey taking in the Tribe game today. He said, you know, take a couple days off work and then get back to the business of football, but he wanted to come down here and see the Indians here at Progressive Field. Big baseball fan, but you talk about tough choices and decisions. You know, the Indians have that with Urshela, Gonzalez, you know, how that all works. And you're talking about the Browns with the recent history there. You're the general manager. You got to make #1 pick in the draft. Zimmer is swinging a miss, and everybody's hanging on every move that organization makes. But I'll tell you one thing, John Dorsey's got the fan base excited with Baker Mayfield, Denzel Ward, and a new crop of Browns talent. 1-2, swung out and missed, struck him out to end the inning. Jesse Chavez whiffs the side. We go to the 8th, 10-3 Cleveland.
Lead the Rangers 10-3. Got some great pitching today from Corey Kluber. Some good offense, too. He's Jensen Lewis. I'm Al Pulowski. Join us after the game. Indians Live brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. A lot to talk about today, Jensen. A lot going well.
Exactly what the offense needed, and especially this pitching staff. Corey Kluber, another solid outing, but a lot of highlights on the offensive side to show you coming up on Indians Live.
Sounds pretty good. Dan Otero in for more on him. Back upstairs we go. Matt and Rick, take it away.
All right, thanks, guys. I'm not sure what's more impressive. Corey Kluber going 7 for the 6th time out of 7 starts this year, or the way the offense came out and swung. And I only say that, not that it's unusual that he did that, but they needed him to do it today.
Yes, but for me, we haven't seen that offense. I like the offense.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it all year long like this, and they came out of the chute smoking today.
Everybody loves offense.
Yeah, well, sure. Chicks dig the long ball, and you know they had a couple of 3-run home runs.
Drew Robinson, the leadoff for Texas. Dan Otero on here in the 8th inning. Kluber took over the league lead, I believe the major league lead as well, in innings pitched, with 7 strong here this afternoon. And it has to be nice. I know pitchers all say, look, I don't pitch to the scoreboard. I try to go out there with the mindset it's 0-0 every inning. It has to feel nice to go out and know that if you give up a home run, a solo shot, oh man, you know,
you're not afraid to make a mistake.
Got some runs behind him early.
You know, and that's been the case here early in the year.
It's going to reach the wall in left center field, and Drew Robinson, who has really struggled at the plate. Before that double right there, he had struck out 29 times in his last 47 at-bats.
Well, Corey Kluber today, you talk about the efficiency again. We show you the sliders, and it's just remarkable. If you go to the hitters and talk to them, and he mixes in the changeup, but right here we're focusing on the sliders. Got a double play ball when he needed it to get out of last inning, and you know, great work in the afternoon. You know, a day game.
Yeah, that spot where he retired 11 in a row was just machine-like with his efficiency. That was huge, especially because they had already built the big lead. Then you just don't want to give them any hope that they got a chance to come back, and he did. He took that right away from them. Down the line, foul off the bat of Delino DeShields, who's 1 out of 3 today.
Well, that would be the approach from a right-handed batter against Otero right there, because he likes to throw you the sinkers inside and try to get you to turn on it and then roll over. But DeShields right there put a good approach on it, trying to take him the other way, and just sliced foul.
Delino DeShields with that 3rd inning single has collected a hit in 6 straight games for the Rangers. Just a little low, full count. And the payoff is a one-hopper to Kip. The plant. And throw him out. One down as Drew Robinson goes to third.
KeyBank Kids tickets are just $10 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. Seats they are located up in the family deck near the kids clubhouse, and they are only available at Indians.com.
Chu with a shot up the gut, and that gets through into center field, and the Rangers get another run. It's 10-4. Chu's second hit of the day, and it gives him 15 runs batted in on the year.
At the plate, for Texas, shortstop, Jurickson Profar.
And now Jurickson Profar 0 for 3. Red Sox lead Kansas City 5-4. They're in the 8th at Fenway.
Mookie Betts 3 home runs in that game.
Wow.
Yeah, his 4th career 3-homer game. Passes Ted Williams. That's unbelievable.
You're not allowed to pass Ted Williams.
Well, he did with 3 homers in a game.
Tigers and the Rays are tied 2-2 in the bottom of the 8th in Detroit. Twins still blanking Toronto 2-0. Bottom of the 8th in Minnesota. Cardinals lead the White Sox 3-2. They're in St. Louis. That game's in the 8th inning. We'll have a trip to St. Louis coming up this summer. Otero ready, the 0-2 pitch, and he grounds a foul. The 0-2 is a little low. Profar not tempted. He's 0 for 3 today. Kluber struck him out his first 2 times up, and that's saying something because he's been pretty locked in at the plate. Came in with 6 hits in his previous 17 at bats.
Well, he has a tough job to do. Fill the void of a awfully good shortstop over there that's on the disabled list for him, Elvis Andrus.
And a guy who had what, a 35-game hitting streak here in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's the first time in 35 games that he hasn't played when they have been in this ballpark, and he's like a 415, 420 hitter against the Tribe. So when you miss him, which was the first time ever.
Profar to second base. Kipnis goes to Lindor, back to first. It's an inning-ending double play. Oh, book him, Dano. 2 for 1 ball gets him out of the inning. Bottom of the 8th coming up 10-4 Cleveland. Temperature was 82 degrees. I mean, as bad as this homestand was to start, it has gone 180 degrees. Feels like in temperature 180 degrees the other way.
This is beautiful. This is what we've been looking for.
Jason Kipnis leads off, takes a called strike.
Yeah, it wouldn't take long to just go back and bring in some of the shots we had earlier in this homestand with people under the blankets.
Kipnis with a broken bat flare, caught for out number 1. Looking back at our Ford storylines, Kluber trying to save the pen. He did just that with another brilliant performance. And the only eye levels Matt Moore changed today was the Indians hitters who their eyes widened as the pitches came to home plate because they tagged him early and often. I give him credit because, as we said, he didn't nibble. He wasn't walking guys. He challenged them. They put the barrel to it. Edwin Encarnacion with a 3-run homer in the first and a 2-run homer in the second. As Francisco Lindor 2 for 4 today. Pulls one foul. Jose Ramirez homered in the first 2 innings of a game last year. Kenny Lofton did it back in 2000 in a game against Seattle. Jim Thome did it in 1994 right here against the Chicago White Sox in the first year of this ballpark. Before that, Chris James, when he had that 9 RBI game in Oakland back in '91.
Remember that.
Lindor, liftoff. See you later. Way out of here into the bullpen. Wow. Back wall of the visitors' bullpen, and that makes it 11 for Cleveland.
And another 3-hit game for Frankie. He's had a very good homestand. He's starting to warm up, and that ball just got out of here. He got on top of a high heater, and that'll be his 5th. Another home run, so 4 homers for the Indians today.
Wow.
Yeah, he sure did backwall it, didn't he?
There's Michael Brantley. Brantley a single, a double, and a run batted in. Well, Lindor, there's no doubt about it. He is really starting to heat up. He's got 8 hits in the series and 16 at bats. So that's how you get things turned around. And he's bumped his batting average all the way up to 264.
Yeah, coming into this game, he was hitting on the homestand. He was 10 for 31. So give him 3 more. He's got 13 hits, and he's rolling. And we know that was Mr. 3-hit a couple of years ago, where he had 23 3-hit ball games.
So he's bumped his batting average up over 30 points in 3 games.
Yeah, well, you see, we quit looking at those numbers a long time ago. Remember, we quit looking. We'll see what they are at the end of the year. He'll be right where he should be. And you know, I'll list, and Ramirez is probably one of your better hitters that's been on a nice roll. He hasn't even had to take an at bat. He gets a day off.
Pat O'Brien Chevrolet plays of the game. The Indians did not have a 3-run homer before today. Edwin hit one in the first, and then Jason Kipnis hit one in the second. And powered by those 2 home runs, the Indians got out in front early and basically just ran away from Texas today. It was 9-1 after 2 innings. Corey Kluber gave you 7 innings of 6 hit, 6 strikeout baseball, allowed just 3 solo homers. And this was a day where early on you thought, who knows, this could end up 12-11 the way the ball was flying.
Like a softball game.
But as is usual, Kluber restored order rather quickly. Down low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ben Taylor just called up today, getting ready to come on and pitch in the ninth. The 3-2. Edwin blast off deep left field, gone to the bleachers. It's a 3-homer game for Edwin Encarnacion. His first since 2015 with the Blue Jays. And it's only the 3rd time overall he's done it in his career. So it's a pretty special afternoon
Yes,
for Edwin.
it certainly is. Coming into the game with 6 homers, he's going to leave it with 9. And that's the 5th homer for the Indians.
How about a 6 RBI afternoon? Now Yonder Alonso, backhanded by Robinson, and he'll throw him out. More big ball for the Tribe. Lindor and
Telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
what a day for the Indians bats. They have busted out a dozen runs, 15 hits. In addition to all that, 5 home runs. 3 for Encarnacion, 1 for Kipnis, 1 for Lindor. Ben Taylor getting the call up, making his Cleveland Indians debut. Pitched in a handful of games last year with the Boston Red Sox. Indians claimed him from off the waivers from from Boston, excuse me. Breaking ball strike to Nomar Mazara. What a day for Eddie. My goodness. and you go through the struggles that he went through. But I go back to an interview he did with Edwin, or he did with Andre, maybe a week or so ago. Maybe it was at the beginning of the homestand. He said, "Everything gonna be all right, man."
Yeah, he did. He gave us a Bob Marley reference. He sure did.
He said everything's going to be all right. And then he told me the other day when he played first base, I asked him, does that help him get going hitting? He says, no, the sun helps him go.
Well, the sun of the warm weather, obviously.
He's a warm weather guy, period. That's just how it works. He was like that in Toronto. He's been like that his whole career.
But Toronto shouldn't have an impact. They have a dome.
Yeah, but they still had to play East Coast teams in April.
Yeah, that's true.
Down on the dirt, almost got him on the foot.
And maybe that's just what he needs. I know we talked to him earlier in the season. He said what happens in spring training doesn't help him. He said he can have 5 at-bats or 50. He said it matters when the real games start because pitchers really start pitching to you. So maybe he needs 100 at-bats before he finds his way.
I love that right there. They're talking hitting. You can tell by the hand gesture they're talking about whether it's how guys are facing them or what his approach is. But you got a really good young hitter on the right and a guy that's hit a ton of home runs on the other side. I know that gets you going. You love watching young players just talking the game.
Absolutely.
That's how you learn, right?
That's exactly how you learn. And I mean, you know what? You can talk to everybody. Not that everybody can help you out, but you can take little bits and pieces from everybody's game. And if you can incorporate it into your game, it's certainly going to help you. But talk the game because there may be something you can learn that you've never known before.
And the funny thing about what you just said, as Ben Taylor delivers the 3-2 pitch in the dirt, ball 4 to Mazzara, is that I mean I've been around guys who have been in this game for decades, and they will say to me, what I love about this game is as long as I've been around, there's still something I can learn today that I didn't know before.
Right.
And that's kind of mind-blowing in a way that you could spend 20, 30, whatever years in the game, and yet there's still something new out there that you hadn't thought of or hadn't seen before.
There's some light that somebody can shed on it that, could be a rookie could tell you something, but it may give you a different outlook on how you look at certain things. That's why I always used to like to talk to pitchers. You could find things out how they pitched to certain guys. We had it with when we said Dan Otero to Chili Davis when he was coaching over in Boston.
Right.
He wanted to know what pitchers are thinking about in certain situations with runners in scoring position. You can learn a lot of different things from talking to a pitcher or a hitter. So yeah, the more you talk the game, the much better it is.
Renato Nunez running for Mazzara at first. And there's something, if I have this right, there's something among players. It's not written down anywhere. It's not necessarily even told to you that this is what you have to do. But veteran players will pass on knowledge and ideas to younger players. And then the younger players understand that's part of my responsibility now to take that and one day pass it on to the next generation that comes behind me.
You certainly hope it is, because it's a great game, and whatever you learn, you share the wealth, man, because it's a tough game. And the more you know, the wisdom, the knowledge you have, the more fun it is.
One on, one out, and after Ben Taylor gets his first strikeout in an Indians uniform, facing Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
It's a humbling game. That's why with the minute you think you know everything or you can do something, this game's going to humble you and put you right back in your place. You have to be respectful to the game, to the people that play it.
Routine fly ball, center field, Zimmer. That's also why, Arch, don't you think that's why Tito spoke so glowingly of guys like Jason Giambi and Mike Napoli and why they were so important, because of not just their experience on the field, but what they brought, what we're seeing with Edwin and Jose, that kind of thing off the field.
He could go to those guys and make a statement, and they knew exactly what he was talking about, and they would go out and spread it through the clubhouse, and control it themselves. Absolutely. The players, they're the ones that have to do it.
Ronald Guzman with 2 down at the plate for Texas. Nunez, the runner, moved to second base.
12-4 Cleveland. The 0-1. By the way, the most runs the Indians scored last year, this is the most runs they've scored so far this year, 12. The most they scored last year was 15 against the Texas Rangers. Crowd of better than 15,000 on an absolutely incredible Wednesday afternoon here in northeastern Ohio. Foul back. As I think I said it yesterday, forget spring fever. These people have summer fever right now. We blew right past spring. And a one-up smash to Lindor. Throws him out and the game is over. The Indians take 2 out of 3 from the Texas Rangers, winning emphatically here this afternoon by a final score of 12-4. Corey Kluber, the winner, goes to 5-1. The loss to Matt Moore, he's 1-4. The victory moves the Indians to 16-13 on the year, and the Rangers will leave town 12-20 on the season. It's another one of those wins in which you're happy on a number of fronts. Corey Kluber gave you a great outing, but really the story, the overlying theme today was the offense. And did they break loose in a big way with the home run ball and crooked numbers. 12-4 is the final. We'll be back with some final thoughts right after this.